And before I get started with this video, I have to give a shout out that I've been meaning to give out for days. And every time I tell myself, oh, I'll remember when I do my video later tonight, I forget. And then at the end of my sessions, I'm like, oh, I did the 2 videos. Oh, damn, I forgot to mention it. I'll do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes, and I remember at work, when you get home tonight and you do your videos, mention it. Get home, forget about it. Somebody, one of my subscribers, or someone who just saw my video, doesn't necessarily have to be a subscriber, essentially sent me $100, $100 contribution. So I've got to say thank you very much for that. That's much appreciated. A while back, I had those little things in the corner of my video, like the top corner, it would say, support JSnoop 4, and you can donate if you wanted to. You didn't have to. It was some new thing Google, or YouTube, Google was doing, and I was like, oh, I'll try that. But I have my video ads, the video ads that I put on here that Google handles, and people were giving me some flack on that. Man, you got the ads, and you're asking for donations, come on, And I'm like, you're kind of right. Let me just take those off. So I removed them. Going forward, I don't put those little, support JSnoop 4. I honestly, the video ads and everything is doing good. I appreciate you putting up with those ads, by the way. But again, I get 55%, 45% goes to Google. It works great, thank you. But someone must have went back to those old videos where I only did this like 3 or 4 times, where I had that little support JSnoop 4 thing, because that's the only place that I realized I think you can even do that. But anyway, someone clicked on it somehow. And I was like looking at my little earnings thing on YouTube, and I was like, what is that? Little blip in the radar. What was that? Someone sent $100, man. And I've been forgetting to say thank you all this time. I remember, I forget. So I'm sorry about that, but whoever the hell you are, that was awesome. Thank you. Now, this story is actually from December 2015 from Bloomberg. And I do not recall covering or mentioning this because this was very, very interesting. Billions of barrels of oil vanish in a puff of accounting smoke. That headline, I saw this, again, this is 6 months ago now, but I saw this headline recently somewhere, and that caught my attention. Vanish in a puff of accounting smoke. What am I always saying when it comes to these financial institutions, these huge conglomerate, multi-billion-dollar companies? Accounting tricks. Cooking the books is the term I normally use. They are all cooking the books through sly, stealthy accounting tricks. And as you're going to hear from this one, remember Chesapeake Commodities, oil dealer, whatever? They petitioned the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, for a rule change a few years back. Can we have you guys change the rule so that we can count future production that we haven't even touched yet, that we think is out there somewhere, and a piece of paper says it's somewhere in the earth, and we can add that to our inventory so it looks like we have that much oil in our possession? And I'll be damned. Take a wild guess. You think the SEC would put up with something like that and allow that? Cooking the books, essentially? Actually, yes, of course. Because the head of the SEC, as well as some of the underlings, the higher echelon of underlings, has a revolving door with the financial industry. I'm going to look the other way or make you pay a little teeny tiny fine when you should be rotting in a prison cell for the amount of fraud, billions of dollars you've raped the taxpayer of. Pay this little fine. Say you won't do it again. Scout's honor. Good. Okay. You can go ahead and go back to trading fraudulently. Billions of barrels of oil vanish in a puff of accounting smoke. What? In an instant, Chesapeake Energy Corp will erase the equivalent of 1.1 billion barrels of oil from its books. How the hell do you accidentally or anyway, accounting fraud or anything, have an entry that says you have 1.1 billion barrels of oil in stock, and that makes my company more powerful, and we've got this much assets. We can put those assets down on paper. That's an asset we can now say we have. Therefore, our company's worth this much. Only to find out you haven't even drilled. The oil may not even be there, for God's sakes. And I got news for you. It probably isn't. Just like the fraudulent commodity market, COMEX, you can buy a futures contract and you own 5,000 ounces of silver if you buy that contract. You only have to pay 10% to play. And then I don't want to actually deliver 5,000 ounces because then I got to come up with the other 90% of the money that I'll owe on that. No, I just want to sell that piece of paper to the next guy. Oh, so we can actually print tons and tons and tons more paper, all chasing the same 5,000 ounces? And we can have 100 of these pieces of paper for one thing of 5,000 ounces? Yeah. No one's ever going to demand delivery, and if they do, so few ever will come up with the rest of the money to buy it out. We'll find the silver and we'll give it to them. Everyone else, the 99 other people, think they have 5,000 ounces. It's not even there. But on our books, it's there. That's the same thing. So it doesn't matter what industry you get into, when you talk about these big, giant, some way or another financial institution, whether it's a bank, an investment house, broker, none of it matters. They are all cooking their books. And here's the proof. In an instant, Chesapeake Energy Corp will erase the equivalent of 1.1 billion barrels of oil from its books. Across the American shale patch, companies are being forced to square their reported oil reserves with hard economic reality. In other words, I could shorten that and just say with the truth. After lobbying for rules that let them claim their vast underground potential at the start of the boom, they must now acknowledge what their investors already know now, which is many prospective wells would lose money with oil hovering below $40 a barrel. Companies such as Chesapeake, founded by fracking pioneer Aubrey McLendon, pushed the Securities and Exchange Commission for an accounting change in 2009 that made it easier to claim reserves from wells that wouldn't be drilled for years. Inventories almost doubled, and investors poured money into the shale boom, enticed by near bottomless prospects. Again, we've got vast quantities of oil wells waiting to be tapped. Give us buy our stock, buy our shares. They pushed the Securities Exchange Commission, the regulator, for an accounting change in 2009? This is right in the middle of the crisis. 2008, the financial crisis begins, TARP funds, banker bailouts, it flowed into 2009 as well. And the Securities Exchange Commission says, you know what, right now is a great time for that. Let's go ahead and change those rules, guys. Fantastic. But the rule change has a catch. So here might be the only good thing about this. It requires that the undrilled wells be profitable at a price determined by a Securities Exchange Commission formula, and they must be drilled within 5 years. 2009 you did this change? 10, 11, 12, 13, 2014, 15, we're 7 years now. Now they've been papered. Their accounting books have been really papered over. Now it's time to pay the piper, so to speak. So the time is up, and prices are now down, below that important threshold price. And the rule is about to wipe out billions of barrels of shale drillers' reserves. The reckoning is coming in the next few months when the companies report their 2015 figures. Quote, there was too much optimism built into their forecasts, said David Hughes, a fellow. Oh, hold on. When I see those keywords, I got to tighten up. A fellow, not a senior fellow, but a fellow at the Post-Carbon Institute and formerly a scientist with the Geological Survey of Canada. Quote, it was a great game while it lasted. I bet it was. And I bet there'll still be winners at the end, because if the company goes under, the CEO and all the higher-ups are going to walk away with tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, pension, retirement, going away party, whatever the hell they want. They get it. They get it good. So it means nothing. And somehow or another, this will affect the taxpayer because you have a failed financial institution, failed investments, investors are pissed, loss of money, insurance claims, lawsuits, bang. The rule change will cut Chesapeake's inventory by 45%, regulatory filings show. Chesapeake's additional discoveries and expansions will offset some of its revisions, the company said in a third quarter regulatory filing. Gordon Pennoyer, a spokesman for Oklahoma City-based Chesapeake, declined to comment further. Other examples include Denver-based Bill Barrett Corp., which will lose as much as 40%, and Oasis Petroleum Inc., based in Houston, which will erase 33%, according to filings. Larry Busnardo, a Bill Barrett spokesman, declined to comment. Richard Roebuck of Oasis also didn't respond to questions. Sorry about that. The U.S. shale revolution, which brought the country closer to energy self-sufficiency than at any time since the 1980s, was built on money borrowed against the promises of future output. Again, what does this sound like? It sounds like the paper COMEX market. Promises on these contracts that you could never deliver. Which is why at one point, the gold to paper rate, or paper to ratio to, excuse me, let me try it again. The gold to paper ratio, which actually is backwards, is really the paper ratio to gold, was 500 to 1. 500 paper contracts, one thing of 100-ounce gold waiting to be potentially delivered. 1 out of 500 people actually own it. The other 499 thought they did. And I got news for you. All 500 of those people aren't real people. It's the federal government with their banking buddies. Left hand sells to the right hand. Market goes down, starts to climb again. Right hand sells back to the left hand. That game, once again, over and over. Undrilled properties. When fracking advocates lobbied the Securities and Exchange Commission, they argued that hydraulic fracturing was a new technology that unlocked oil and gas in vast layers of underground rock, making drilling more predictable than it used to be. And now we're finding out that everywhere there's fracking, the water's becoming dangerously polluted. Damn. Double damn. This is not working out for you guys. Drillers met the rule's profitability provision last year due to a quirk. A quirk in the Securities and Exchange Commission's pricing formula. So there was a quirk in there. The agency's yardstick is an average of the prices on the first day of each month during the calendar year. The price came to $95 a barrel at the end of 2014, even though oil was trading below $50 by the same time the companies reported reserves in February and March. The average 2015 average, including December 1st price, comes out at $51 a barrel. They got such a break with the price for last year, but it sure as hell isn't going to happen this year, which would mean really the 2015 year, which again they're now having to report on. Can't wait to see those numbers. The wells that exist only on paper are particularly vulnerable to revision. Where have you heard the word revision and double revision the most in your life subscribing to JSNIP 4? Probably right here. This ugly face telling you every time jobless numbers were not too bad, market rallies. 2 months later, those numbers we talked about 2 months ago, revision, a lot worse. Mainstream media doesn't really report it. It goes under the rug. Time for the jobless numbers again. How we looking? Better than expected. Markets really rally. 2 months later, or even a month later, that's me again. The reviser guy. Listen, another revision. Is it better than we expected? Better than we reported? No, you know it's never better. Actually, it's a lot worse. We missed it by this much. It's way, way bad. Way worse. So, again, anything tied to the word financial or economy, not really economy, financial entity in any way, shape, or form, such as a company like this. And then the banks, and the brokers, and the hedge funds, and the pensions. They all share this common thing. On paper, through sly accounting tricks, we thought such and such. And years later, all of a sudden, we're having to revise our accounting errors, if you will. And when we take that into consideration, we've been bankrupt the whole damn time. I don't know how did we miss that one? Man, that's interesting. I mean, if you ran your own house or your own business the way these financial entities do, you'd be busted in no time. You'd be paying the IRS and God knows what else, penalties and you name it. You'd be shut. You'd be finished. But everything that I just told you about, all those different entities, this is common practice. It is common practice to cook the books, just like they did in the 80s, savings and loan crisis, Enron scandal, I think the WorldCom as well. This is common practice. We're going to have a commission today. Mr. Honorable so-and-so, the head of the commission of 8 other persons. We're going to give you this evidence today on Enron, or make up some name, doesn't even matter. And right, and it looks like they're doing something, and then this guy's murdered, this guy's killed, he dies in jail, and okay, goes under there, okay, yeah, not going to have that happen again, good thing, okay. Not only are you going to have that happen again, it has always continued to happen, even while this commission was standing up there, and we found this, and we're going to make sure we check. That's made for TV, for you, for sheeple, peasant, taxpayer, consumer, whatever you are, consumption. Make them think we're doing something about it, show them little flashy things and news scripts and lines on the TV, and even have someone yelling at somebody like he's really going to, oh, did you see him ream him like that dude last night? Oh, it's entertainment. Man, when Trey Gowdy gets up there, he's going to ream the... And he was reaming old Trey Gowdy, oh, Benghazi stuff, oh. My buddy Frank was all excited about that. I said, Frank. This is for entertainment purposes. No, man, he's going to go after them. Frank, this is for entertainment purposes. He's just yelling and barking to make it look dramatic. He's not going to do anything. Guess what happened? He didn't, they didn't, nobody did anything. Nothing happened. And that's what they do here. So while you think the savings and loan crisis, that won't happen again, it did happen again. It happened in 2008, essentially. They just call it a different name and use different terms. It's the same thing. It never stopped. So if you as a person have any of your own investment, your money, your retirement into this system, you're going to get screwed one way or the other. And if you found someone, well, my buddy, he's well off and he's great, or he made his money. He's the exception to the rule. It's not 100% everybody loses everything. That never happens. But most people will lose. And they'll be the guys that stand out and say, don't, believe in your dreams. I believed in mine and I invested and I went right in. I didn't have to do anything crazy. I made a bunch of money. Now I can retire early and I'm well off and everything else. Oh, well, man. Well, excuse me, sir. There's 500 of us in this room listening to you talk. I thought I was doing exactly what you did, but my luck didn't pan out that way. Oh, well, don't give up. Keep going. Next person. Yeah, I did too. And I just, I had money set aside and I thought I was this close to finally nailing it. So I delved into my savings and I was getting closer, but then such and such happened in the market and it killed me and I lost it all. Now my wife's killing me because I had to liquidate one of our 401ks and, well, sir, keep trying. It'll get you, again, American Idol analogy. There's tens of thousands minimal, maybe hundreds of thousands, I don't know the exact number, of people going to be American Idol. I want to be the number one. I can do it and I can sing. And you know what? A lot of you guys or girls out there, both of you can sing. You're fantastic, as a matter of fact, if I don't mind saying so myself. But there's only one. And all realist news, like a woodpecker on a tree, is going to be pecking you in the back of your damn head. Ding, 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 ding. My magic 8-ball says signs don't look too good for you to be the winner. So have fun trying out. If it doesn't work, you may want to have a plan B behind you. And unfortunately for most people, plan B is, I got to go back and be a waiter, waitress, bartender. I got to go drive the stupid truck again. I'm tired of driving across the country. This is my only chance. This is my only... That's reality. And that's what I'm going to tell you. Not because I want to be mean, not because I want to make you down or sad or upset. You just need to be informed on all the possibilities. So yes, you do have a possibility of being the #1 American Idol. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to hope, and I'll do something I never do. I'm going to pray, please God, let this person be the #1 American Idol. Please, he needs it. He needs it. He's a good kid. You didn't make it. You know what? Maybe it was God's plan for you. God did not want you to win. He wanted that other person to win. Don't be upset, right? So that's a whole nother story. Religion, religion kind of ties in with all this crap that I read you every day. Cooking the books, faking it, fraud, corruption. Just look at the Catholic Church. Oh my God, don't even get me started on the Catholic Church. I'm going to end this video now because the bottom line that I did this video for was they've all been cooking the books. The oil companies or go out and find the oil wells companies, and we're an energy company. You could almost look at Chesapeake as maybe another Enron, for God's sakes. We're going to find out. And it won't just be them. There'll be others. And then there's going to be the insurance companies who have to bail out for the losses of this one. Lawsuits flying. Banks involved. Derivatives. You can see, just for that reason alone, or those reasons I'm telling you about right now, why they want so desperately bad to get the freaking guns out of the American people's hands, because the clock is ticking. All hell's about to break loose soon, and we have got to get the guns out of their hands before we let loose. We can't hold on much longer. Get the guns out of the people's hands. Why would they be so terrified of that? Because again, if everything you work so hard in your life for is taken from you and destroyed, and then you watch on TV as Jamie Dimon's doing his little, he's always happy, and the markets, and I'm a billionaire now, and my buddy Lloyd Blankfein over at Goldman Sachs, he's a billionaire now, and happy. And then you start to see, wow, they've had 15, and I'm just making this number up, but it's a pretty high number for all these banks, but man, this one bank had 15 settlements with the Security and Exchange Commission. Holy crap, at what point are they going to prosecute? Man. And everything was taken from you and everyone else, and essentially given through this fraud to these bankers. And how did the bankers get away with that? It's not like they just took it. The government had to change some rules, remove some regulations, have some lobbyists come in, put money in my back pocket. I'm going to change the law so that it helps these banks out, helps them steal from you, helps them make it so that you lose everything when this goes down. They can't have that, because you're going to very quickly realize, I've just lost everything. And as Gerald Celente says, when people lose everything, when they lose it, they lose it. When they have nothing else left to lose, they lose it. Like this guy over in the UK shot the lady, Joy, whatever, Cox, whatever her name is. And a crazed gunman, a homegrown terrorist. Do you know how many times you would hear that? They would probably not even use that term, because so many people would be out killing people who they felt was responsible for destroying their financial lives. Which is why they got to get the guns out of the hands of the people. Because when the people finally see what has actually happened and then experiences it, which will make them understand what happened to them, they'll be so furious. They will literally be wanting to murder people who never even thought about, could I ever do that? Could I ever be so mad and rage that I could take another life? When they take everything you worked hard for in your life, like that, and you see these big banks walking away, the big shots, the ones who caused the problem, walking away, posing with Obama like John Corzine. Yeah, I'm a donor. He didn't get in any trouble for stealing his allocated account, the money out of the allocated accounts of his customers. To this day, walking a free man. You're going to see those guys, yeah, and you're going to say, you're not going to say anything actually. You're going to hear I just realized what I got to do. I have nothing else left to lose. Maybe I'm an older person. My kids have moved out. I've got one thing in mind. Whoever did this is going to effing pay. That is a common reaction throughout history, by the way. Can you understand why the French Revolution happened and it was so violent against these types of people? Oh my God, the whole society went crazy. They must have been on, they must have had PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome after. Oh wait, they didn't do Desert Storm back in those days. They were just townsfolks. Why did they get so angry all of a sudden? What made them want to kill and hang people? They weren't doing that before. Did they all just go crazy? Did they get bit by a vampire bat? Oh my gosh, got rabies? No. A human being can only take so much before they lose it. And the federal government is expecting a whole lot of people to lose it. Thus, the gun control measures being pounded in your face right now due to the Orlando shooting. Take care.